I'm looking at Bitcoin here from a daily perspective. We've climbed over 50% over the last 21 days, going back to July 21st. We've neared the 50% retracement level, which is very similar to Ethereum. We've also reached the 50% retracement level in the big old coin. Moving forward, what is key here is we are trading around the 200-day simple moving average, but we have reached a mild RSI negative divergence here, where we had a little bit higher RSI versus we did at this high. So there, you could argue we have a RSI divergence, which could lead to some selling pressure here. Everything, you know, it's totally normal to expect at this time. You'll see yesterday though that it could be short-lived or it won't be very deep, because yesterday from a bar chart perspective, we did close with a bullish outside day after testing this support area, which I call the trifecta resistance, from about 43,000 down to 41,300. That includes the 38.2% retracement of 42,589. So we had a bullish outside day there, which is interesting because back on the August 5th, we also had a bullish outside day when we pulled back into this high on July 28th from July 29th at 3,600 and 36,675. So this is a sign that people are using pullbacks into key support areas as buying opportunities. That means that the weak holders, whatever there are left, are being shaken out. So that's a positive. Nevertheless, you know, when you add up the 50-day with this particular low here from August 25th, which is 47,044, we could be looking at some type of correction. Maybe it's in time versus price, or maybe it is in price, and we go down into the trifecta, which is okay. As long as this trifecta holds, everything's fine. The correction will just be part of the process of the rally. If we fall below the trifecta, look for, introduces a whole nother kettle of fish, as the English say. We could fall down to, really, we could fall down back to this level here. There's really nothing of major support there. So at this point, still positive on Bitcoin. Trifecta as a support needs to hold on any pullback or correction. And on the upside, it's probably limited at this point to the 50% retracement level due to the overbought conditions, coupled with the fact that we do have a mild bearish momentum divergence.
That's interesting. So basically, I mean, you're looking at Bitcoin and you believe that it, I mean, there is, you know, slight bearish signs with that divergence with the RSI, but you believe that there is potential for more upside?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, let me share my screen real quick, because I believe that I may have kind of like a similar outlook. Well, first and foremost, the 12-hour chart gave us a sell signal, right? That right now it seems to be getting validated, right? With the rejection of the $46,000 level. But now, like, the question is, how deep is that? Is Bitcoin gonna go next, right? I mean, it seems like from this descending triangle that was developing here between May 14th and July 23rd, right? On July 23rd, it actually broke out. We have finally met the $46,000 target. And now for me, it seems like it's time for a spike in profit taken, right? So if there is actually a spike in profit taken, which kind of like coincides with the overbought RSI levels that Sheldon was talking about, and this the sequential indicator sell signal on the 12-hour chart, right, then we could see Bitcoin potentially coming down. But when we look at the on-chain metrics, it does seem like Bitcoin is sitting on top of strong support. These demand barrier right here between $42,600 and $45,300 seem to be providing it with a lot of support, right? So for Bitcoin to correct, it will have to like dip below $42,600, which could potentially send it to around $40,000. But if all of this, you know, demand barrier continues to hold here, and Bitcoin manages to claim $46,200 as support, then you know, the next critical area of resistance that at least I see sits around $50,000, right? All of this kind of like coincides with the Fibonacci retracement level that Sheldon was seeing. So as of right now, it's just a matter of whether this support, this massive support right here, which seems like it's going to hold, right? Whether it will bring more buyers right around this level for that, upward push towards $50,000. But now the move to $50,000 is something that we have been anticipating for a little while, right? We have been talking about kind of like how Bitcoin has reacted in every single bull market in the past, right? Where it comes basically to the 50-week moving average, it rebounds from there, right? It gets people excited, telling them that the trend is just going to continue rising, right? But at the end, it actually capitulates, right? Just like it happened in 2019, right? It also happened after the top on 2018, right? Where we came to the 50-week moving average, right? Rose and then finally broke down, right? I mean, the same kind of like pattern repeats throughout the other cycles, right? As you can see here in the 2014, bull cycle, where we came down to the 50-week moving average, rebounded, and then finally capitulated towards the 200-week moving average. There's like too many on-chain metrics that are kind of like leaning bullish, right? I mean, we're seeing a lot of outflow from exchanges, so basically exchanges right now are being depleted from Bitcoin. That means that the selling pressure behind Bitcoin from, spot from the spot markets is reducing significantly. We still have to analyze what is the impact of the derivatives markets that the derivatives market can have on Bitcoin, right? Because even though Bitcoins are flowing out of exchanges, right? Then basically the derivatives market kind of like now take over the price action and basically control where this asset is going next, right? So just like it happened in previous bull cycles, right? There is some, I believe there is still like a chance that Bitcoin could pull back from this level, right? And then finally capitulate around, the 200-week moving average, which currently sits around $15,000, right? But for that to happen, I believe that we need a blow off top that I think that if Bitcoin manages to move past $50,000, a lot of people will get really excited about it, right? And they will potentially FOMO in. Those that are FOMOing in, right, may get actually, trapped in what could be a potential bull trap that then basically sends Bitcoin back down to the target that we were talking about, right? So I believe that this area right here is quite significant for Bitcoin, and we're not out of the woods yet. Yeah, even though we have managed to climb to $46,000. We could even go all the way up to $50,000. I believe that investors should pay close attention right now, because what could happen here is kind of like a bull trap that then pushes prices back down. But again, for me to actually get rid of this bearish case, right, I will be looking closely at the IO map, right? I will be looking at how Bitcoin interacts with this kind of like supply barrier right here around $50,000. And of course, if I see weakness in there, then I'll be leaning a little bit towards the idea of that the bear market is on and will continue, you know, heading down. But if Bitcoin manages to climb this area support, right, and continues to rise and potentially breaks the recent all-time high of $65,000, then I believe the the bull market is basically resuming and will potentially target 100 or $150,000. But uh, I will take a little bit of a note of caution right here and be aware of the potential that this has to be a bull trap. But yeah, that's pretty much my take on Bitcoin. So yeah, Cash, you wanna share your short-term perspective from it?
Yeah, sure. So from a 4 hour or like even a 1 hour time frame perspective, I see this inverse head and shoulder pattern that's being formed right now, and there's a lot of consolidation that's happening here. So we get to see how it's going to resolve. But from a line chart perspective, this looks like a bull flag pattern here. Right, so this might play into this larger head and shoulders pattern here. So this is the first thing that I'm looking at. I'm bullish on Bitcoin. And as for the upsides, I see 47K as the first level of resistance. Apart from that, there's 50,360 and 53,080 that I'm looking at. Anything about this is going to be high consolidation area and unlikely considering the magnitude of this ascent that we've seen here. So yeah, this is my take from a bullish perspective. From a bearish perspective, I do not want it to. So this is my last line of defense, which is 42,554. Considering how significant it was during the run up, despite the 3 taps here, it prevailed and then went higher. And then again, we have 2 taps over here as where it acted as resistance. So anything beyond this would create a lower low and probably signal shift of trend, and it would play into this rising wedge-ish pattern that we see here. Yeah. So yeah, this is what I'm looking at from a bearish perspective. So if you break this, there's going to be a lot of consolidation between the 42K and the 40. And in an although it's not going to dip below 40 in an unlikely case, if it does, expect a drop down to 38,340, which is over here.
If it breaks what, sorry?
If it breaks this level, 42,554, we're going to consolidate in this area. Right?
Yeah.
It is highly unlikely Bitcoin goes below this level here, below 40K. But if it does, then expect a retracement down to this level here. And in a highly bearish case, we can see it retesting this bearish breaker here as it did here.
Basically 37. So your levels are first 38,340 and then the second level 36,600, right?
No, it's this particular range here, which ranges from 35,613 to 37,345. I'm not expecting this to be broken anytime soon, like unless it's like a May 19th kind of crash, which is highly unlikely. No matter how bearish it is, I'm expecting it to stay above this level here, this bearish breaker.
Okay. That's interesting to know. So yeah, so basically, kind of like your levels coincide a little bit with what we're seeing from into the block, right? Where it says that, of course, the lowest price point is around $42,600, right? And if it breaks that, then into the block shows that the next significant demand wall sits around $40,000, right? And then from there lower, there's just a bunch of support.
Yeah, but another thing that I want to point out here is that during the early stages of the bull run, right, we saw a lot of rising wedges kind of go higher and higher again with exponential moves. So I'm expecting something like that happen here, which aligns with my inverse head and shoulders pattern here.
Interesting. So you're bullish on Bitcoin.
Yeah. Another thing that is going to translate into all of my altcoin articles is that a lot of coins on the 12-hour time frame, as you just pointed out, is showing a sell signal from the MRI indicator, right? So this could possibly lead to a retest of this trend line that I've drawn here. Let me just change the color so it looks better. Right, so we might get a retracement down to 43,589, kind of like a fake out before it actually goes higher. Right, so something like this. And this scenario is based completely on that 12-hour sell signal that's formed. You still there, Ali?
Yeah, sorry about that. So I was muted, but yeah, I mean the downside potential seems to be capped, right? I mean, based on into the block, there is a massive area of demand between basically 45,000, yeah, 45,000 and $43,000, right? So yeah, that massive area of support may have the ability to prevent Bitcoin from going lower. Of course, if it breaks below the 42,600 level, at least based on chain metrics, we could potentially see a downswing towards $40,000, right? But now on the other side of the coin, right, on the bullish side, the on-chain metrics do not show any significant resistance ahead. The only significant, I mean, the only you could say that is the only considerable supply barriers. It's actually around $50,000, where basically 400,000 addresses bought 300,000 Bitcoin, right? That's the only area of resistance ahead. But given the T sequential sell signal that formed on the 12-hour chart, we could be looking at a close above the recent high, which was around, let's say, $46,000, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
46,790.
46,700 exactly, 46,800, right? So a 12-hour close above $46,800 could potentially invalidate that sell signal, and then give Bitcoin the tailwind it needs to tap the $50,000 price level, and then from $50,000 we'll have to see it, right? Because from a long-term perspective, I mean, it seems like that could be perfect for a bull trap, but it could also be ideal to trap all the bears, right? And then just head to $100,000. So $50,000 become really important and a critical level of resistance for Bitcoin that we'll have to pay attention to when we get there. But yeah, if you like this TA, you should subscribe and continue looking what we have to offer.